Hello friends, and for today we have another triple screen video, and for this one it's going to be Assetto Corsa. Now as you can see, I'm using third-party software which is content manager, so the main settings are going to be maxed out, except MSA is at 2x this time. As you can see, the mirror resolution is one notch down below. It's not fully maxed out, so it's really not a big difference, so I thought maybe I should just reduce it a little bit. And going to custom shaders patch section, which is only available on this content manager app, so looking at all those settings, I'm pretty sure they are at default. As you can see, there are so many settings in this one. Also, if you want to skip to the gameplay, check out description down below, there should be timestamps for that. So this simulator was made in 2014, but it's still very active with its community and mod support, so I highly recommend, if you want to get into sim racing, this is the way. So it is very good value and has a lot of content and a lot of mods for that. But for this gameplay I decided to use default content, and in this one you are seeing a Trento bondone track which was made partially from community and it was later approved by developers, so it is kind of official but really not. And the car is Toyota AE86. Also, please excuse my rusty driving, it's really been a long time since I drove this car and this track. But yeah, this video is going to consist of two parts. The first one is going to be offline racing, which is currently running now, and the second one will be fully populated Nordschleife track online server, and it's going to be way more demanding, but I don't think running with AI is going to be more demanding than that, so I decided to stick with that. But when I was editing this video, I thought maybe I should include AI, but I will let it slide this time. And I will of course include it in the next video with AI racing, if anyone is interested. But it's going to be Assetto Corsa Competizione. The second part is going to be more demanding, but I will comment on that later. And as for now, let's get to the gameplay. Now getting to the online server, which is fully populated, you can see that it is significantly more demanding and it requires more VRAM and main system memory, and it adds around 2 GB extra on each. And the reason for that is because there are way more cars and each one requires certain amount of allocation. So also keep in mind that many players are logging in and out, and my computer has to calculate that as well. So you might see some dips and frame rate inconsistencies, and that is mostly because players are logging in and out. I also wanted to note that with default setup, GT3 cars seems almost undrivable in this track. The aero is so bad when driving fast through small hills, it almost flies, so yeah, it's not ideal, but I'm sure it's just a setup problem. Now, what I find interesting is that this game is based natively on DirectX 11, and previously I tested Raceroom Racing Experience, which is notorious for being only in DirectX 9. Now, most people would think that the CPU utilization should be better in DirectX 11, but unfortunately this is not the case. In my previous video, my CPU had around 20-25% of utilization, and the utilization was distributed quite equally among the threads. And in this one you can see that only single CPU thread is fully maxed out and the rest are barely utilized. And if I remember correctly, this game can only utilize up to 4 CPU threads, but don't quote me on that yet, I'm not sure about it. But using this kind of resolution, it is obviously a GPU limited use case. As you can see, it barely manages to get above 60 FPS in this case, so yeah, it's really demanding. So yeah, this simulator is the best in my opinion if you want to get into sim racing, and it is such a great value. I just really can't recommend it enough. So for now I'm leaving you with the gameplay. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.